everybody, Shannon and Karen with Wandering Out Yonder. Today we are at Cape Henlopen State Park in Delaware, and we are visiting the Fort Miles Military Park, or the area in the state park that used to be a World War II era military base. It is now, they have a museum here with a lot of artillery and old equipment, barracks and so forth and so on. Now what you're seeing behind me, this cool piece right here, this is a gun that was on top of the USS Missouri at the signing of the end of the war with the Japanese. And I'll show you a picture of it in the video just a little bit later on, but pretty cool piece of equipment here. All right, so again, this is that military area. Fort Miles is what it was called. And you can see the old military buildings, and they still have some of the equipment here, artillery and so forth. This was here up until World War II. There you go.
It was designed to protect the Delaware Bay and river from German warships.
Okay, so Shannon found a map, but this shows you what's left here.
We're right about here.
So we're just going to walk through it and kind of show you everything. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, so over on the right and on the left, there are old military barracks that are still standing. Over here on the left and behind us. And then they have some artillery and one of the vehicles. I'm not sure what that is. I'd have to look.
Gun pads here.
Okay. All right, so there's some marquees that kind of give you some information on the history of the area with some pictures. Okay, so according to this marquee, these concrete block buildings are the only known examples of this type, I guess, of building and series of World War II military buildings still standing. They use this because of the construction, this type of construction, because of the damp, sandy conditions here. You're right on the ocean, and of course on the sound. You've got both areas that you're dealing with. But again, here's another marquee that shows you some pretty cool, oh, I love these old black and whites. And these guys were stationed here during the World War II era. Okay, here we go. But yes, these are the buildings, and they supposedly house up to 32 men each. And there was at one time a latrine with showers, I think a camp store of some sort, mess hall, but I don't think those buildings are left. This is what's left. These are the, what's this one called, you said?
This over here is called the gun pad.
Right, so it had the guns to shoot down the planes, right?
And it just says gun pad.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, pretty
Looks
cool.
like there's quite a few of those.
Yeah, so you can see they're over here as well. Okay, this marquee talks about the civilian volunteerism here to help out in the war effort. The military had these people helping as far as spotting airplanes and aircraft, and it's showing a filter room moving pieces to locations phoned in from the ground observers, so these people would be watching for them and call it in. And anyhow, it talks about the reason that they had to do this is because all of the men were needed in military and combat situations. So a lot of civilians volunteered their time in helping out with this type of operation. So it was pretty cool to see that. Another marquee talking about it. All right. So that's what this building is over here. I thought it was the museum. The museum's up the road a little bit here. This was the operations center that they worked out of. All right. Okay, so the all of the artillery and stuff, the military equipment that you see here is not original, nor is it what was originally used. I don't think. It's here to represent somewhat what they were using and how they were using it, where they were using it. So anyhow, the museum is up this way. And I don't think it's open now. Don't think it opens until later on in the season. But here's some more of the artillery they have out here on these pads. So this is an actual photo of one of the guns used here, a 155 millimeter gun. That's what was used here. They required an 18-man crew to load and fire it. Pretty incredible. And that's what these are representing. That's not what this actually is. It's just what is being represented here. Anyhow, you can see the water from here. Beautiful. And I love the forest and the sand dunes all over the place out here. This is another one of the guns that was used here. This is an actual photo. And the gun that is over here to my right, I'm going to show you in a second, is a 6-inch pedestal mounted deck gun. The model 1903-A2 guns that were at Fort Miles would have been mounted on barbette carriages inside 3-sided heavy metal shields to protect the gun crew against incoming enemy fire. So anyhow, they have this one here to represent that. Man, those things were huge, I bet. Whew. Alrighty. And again, wow, look at that one. Now that's the one that we were looking at from the fire tower. You could spot that thing from up there. It's huge. It's really huge. That's pretty cool. This is again the one we were seeing from the fire tower. And I'm guessing this is here to represent how much metal this could go through. It's incredible. Yeah. These shells weigh 2,700 pounds, which is about the same size of a Kia Soul or a Hippo. But the piece of steel before you is a 48-inch section of armored plate that is 17.5 inches thick. The hole in it was created by a Mark 8 16-inch armor-piercing shell weighing 2,700 pounds, fired at point-blank range.
25 miles.
Wow. And this giant monstrosity here had a range of 25 miles. So that's how far the armor-piercing shell from a 16-inch gun could travel and destinations that it could reach. Which you can see, the water's right out here. Man, that thing is massive. Okay, so the marquee down here reads, and this is pretty cool. This particular gun barrel is barrel 371, and like the other guns which can be found throughout the artillery park, it is not original to Fort Miles. It was removed from the Iowa-class Navy battleship BB-63, the USS Missouri or Big Mo. These were the largest battleships in the United States ever built. It carried 9 16-inch guns on its deck. Barrel 371 was mounted near the table where the Japanese delegation signed surrender documents on September 2nd, 1945, ending World War II. So this came off of that battleship. That's pretty freaking cool. All right, and then this photo shows you the signing of the documents and these guns. Okay, so it was mounted near this table. It was one of these through here. So, pretty cool. It is here. You get to see it here. All right, so I'm guessing this was a bunker of some sort, probably for maybe the gunpowder and stuff. I don't know. Maybe this is the museum now. Maybe it was a bunker and they turned it into a museum. I don't know. It's not open, so we will not know that. It's open on Fridays and Saturdays from 10 to 4, and we are not here on Friday and Saturday. But pretty cool.
Very cool.
But I'm sure it's pretty cool inside. Got lots of history and information We will not be able to see that today, but we are able to get around the entire park and take a look at all of the military equipment and the barracks and so forth. And they have picnic tables here, bike racks. The rail trail is very close by, and you can do a nice rail trail bike up to Rehoboth and all around this area. So if you're into the biking, this is a beautiful place to do it. Lots of rail trail type trails to get around, and is dedicated to biking and walking. But this is pretty cool. Pretty area. All right, everybody, thanks for joining us today as we were out here wandering around Fort Miles Museum and Historic Area here at Cape Henlopen State Park. It's right off of the campground. You can get to it right from the campground. We climbed at one of the fire towers and saw it when we got to the top of the fire tower, and we were like, man, that's pretty cool. So we climbed down and walked over, and it's pretty interesting. So if you're ever in this area, come out here and take a look. I think it's really interesting that they've left all of this history here for you to try to look around. I really thought it was cool about the big artillery piece that came off the USS Missouri. I thought that was really cool. So anyhow, guys, thanks for joining us. We will see you later. Bye.